All right, everybody out there. You know, I love you Muslims. I do. I love you Muslims. I do. And like I'm coming from like what you Muslims have to understand is like I'm coming from a place where I grew up here in America, which doesn't mean anything at all, and it means the worst sometimes. But I grew up with a grandfather, and my grandfather and I, we would just talk about different things, and we could disagree but still love each other. Like he's still my grandfather and I'm still his grandson. But I used to love disagreeing with him, and sometimes we used to just disagree just to have fun, you know. But like one day I was scrolling on the internet and I heard about the argument that's coming from the Muslims about why the land that was promised to the Jews is no longer theirs, right? And the argument that they make is that that this prophecy has already been fulfilled, right? This prophecy, it's already been fulfilled, and just like the like throughout the Jewish scriptures, like God is constantly condemning the Jews, like damn, like, shit, and loving them too, and it's just, and that's one of the things that I love about the Jewish scriptures so much is that when the God of the Jews talks to the Jews, he talks to them in such a passionate and romantic and loving and just motherly and fatherly, and he just has so much passion for the Jews. Very poetic stuff. Very gentle stuff. It's a God of compassion and romance and mercy and love. But anyways, that's their argument. Like the Jews, they like that prophecy's already been fulfilled. They took the promised land. They took the promised land, and then they rebelled against God. Right. It's kind of a solid argument logically speaking, but not textually speaking. Not textually speaking, because like if you look at the land that was promised to the Jews have never, not in the time of David, not in the time of Solomon, not in the time of never, have the Jews ever been in control of the entirety of the land that was promised to them. Because like OMG, I hate to say it, but like from what I heard, from what I remember, and I have bad memory, I do, so correct me if I'm wrong, but the land that was promised to the Jews, I think, reached up into Anatolia. And to the banks of the Tigris and or the Euphrates. Like shit, what? Like there's just, like, the Jews have never been in possession of this land. And therefore the prophecy has never been fulfilled. Like that's just logic. Like I hate to say it, but the prophecy will not be fulfilled until they get any of that land, all of that land that was promised to them. And after they get that land, according to the later prophets, God will turn their hearts from a heart of stone into a heart of flesh. Right? Once they get the entirety of the land that was promised to them, God will turn their hearts from a heart of stone to a heart of flesh. Right? That's just in the Jewish scriptures, the later prophets. So now, because right now we're just talking religion. We're talking the religion of the Jewish scriptures, the religion that most people in the world subscribe to, whether you're Christian or Jew or Muslim. All three combined believe in the Jewish scriptures. So it's an important discussion to have. Now, we could have the practical discussion, right? And the practical discussion is just stupid. It's just stupid. Because, there's a billion people on this planet. Billions, anywhere from 7 to 9 billion people. We might even be getting into the 10 billions at some point. Even though, when I was growing up, everybody was all about, overpopulation, it's so scary, but now everybody's talking about depopulation. All over the world. But and I hate to bring this up because I don't like to be a Mardukian oof and piss off some violent motherfuckers out there. But it's just the reality. And what's the reality? The reality is that those at the top, create scarcity in order to create a false value, right? There's this Andy Griffith episode one time, and Barney Fife comes up to these two guys, and they're selling food that they grew on their farm on the side of the road, right? But they don't have a permit. The Andy Griffith Show is such a communistic show. Because these two guys, they work hard to grow this food on their land, and they grew it, and now they're trying to sell it, right? But the merchants of Mayberry, they got together, and they supported the right politicians that ended up winning, and these right politicians that ended up winning passed laws which you got to have a license and a permit and this and that, and you got to have this and that, and it's hard to do this and that, and it's much more expensive to do this and that. But hey, if you're already in it, then it was just a merchant cartel manipulating a democracy. Some of the worst people in world history, are actually fucking farmers. Because we see the farmer and we're like, oh, that's what we all want to be. That's or not all of us, but there's some people out there that appeal to that ideal, farming and all this. But a lot of times the farmers get together and form a cartel, and a cartel is violence against the consumer, basically. Violence against the consumer. I mean, wars aren't fought over land. Like, there's plenty of land. Like, over the past 100 years, like, the true history of the past 100 years is forcing people into cities. Like, that's what the Vietnam War was all about. Like, we came in, like, we supported the Russian Soviets through Lend-Lease. Like, we gave them all these weapons and all this food and all these cigarettes and like shit. Like we like the Cold War was Russia and the U.S. versus the rest of the world, right? Basically. Versus their allies, right? um, I mean, this land, this Earth, this planet that we have is finite, and maybe someday we will have to worry about overpopulation, but it's not this day. It's not this day. And if we start learn to live underground, independently of Earth, independently of the atmosphere above, so if we can learn to control our own breathing atmosphere, and we can learn to get enough water just from resources and ecosystems that we can build. So if we can learn to live independently of the above ground atmosphere and live underground, because more and more people are living underground, especially the most powerful. They're all living underground because like bombs can destroy anything on the surface. So underground is just the new reality that mankind is moving towards. It's been moving towards it for about 100 years now. We've been moving underground. Nobody recognizes that yet because they don't want us to. But anyways, no, this planet can comfortably fit billions of people. I think this planet can comfortably fit trillions of people. Like, we can start living under the water at certain depths. But if we can't live under the water at certain depths, then we can't space travel. Like, because space travel is all about pressure, gravity. So living under the water would be the first step towards space. Living underground would be the first step towards space. Living underground independently of the above ground Earth, because it's like when the Japanese during World War II were fighting the Americans, they built all these underground bunkers, and the Americans were able to overcome these underground bunkers by just flamethrowers, right, and just sucking all the oxygen out of these tunnels and underground stuff. But that's because these tunnels were dependent upon the Earth above. If you shut that off, then the people in the underground now have the advantage, right? So, anyways, but we go back to that discussion about artificial scarcity creating value. Like, no, like, damn. There's plenty of land for all of us on this planet. There's plenty of land for all of you Turkish people. There's plenty of land for oh shit, what are those motherfuckers called? Saladin was one of them. They're in southern Turkey. They're actually fighting the Turkish people for an independence movement, and they're fighting the Syrians, and they're fighting the Iraqis, and they're fighting the Iranians, and they're trying to become. They're a stateless people, like the Irish. What are they called? But Saladin was one of them, I think, from what I heard. I forgot. But you have the Syrians and the Arabs and but there's plenty of land. There's plenty of land. It's like countries don't fight over land. rich people fight over wealth. Like shit. There's plenty of land. Like there's plenty of land here in the United States. It's just we're all being corralled into these badly managed cities, and so of course we're overpopulated. If we're being corralled into these badly, and that's the history of the past 100 years. We've all been purposely corralled into cities because these cities are prisons. And through all these wildfires, they're burning the area around these prisons. But no, I do believe. Yeah, so like what I've been trying to argue for the past however many minutes is a rational, non-religious argument. It's a rational, non-religious argument. Like shit, there's plenty of fucking land, and hey, you might have to give up some of the land that's not actually yours. It's not actually fucking yours. Like shit. Like why do we care so much about the land and not the people? Like shit. But that's fine because if you're too big, then you're just going to be cursed. Because God, He loves every single man, woman, and child on this planet. No matter what language they speak, no matter what fucking color their skin is, or their hair, or their eyes, no matter what religion they profess. If you're a good person, then God will love you, even if you deny His reality. If you're a good person, then God will love you, even if you deny His theological reality. So yeah, the prophecy has yet to be fulfilled. Like, that's just kindergarten logic, if we're speaking religiously rather than secularly. If you want to speak secularly, then stop being a Christian or a Muslim or a Jew. Like, stop it. Because you're not a Christian or a Muslim or a Jew. Because, like, logically speaking, the Jews have never controlled the lands that have been promised to them. And now, if you live in these lands, then I think the Jews should follow the example of Moses. And what did Moses do? Moses came and he conquered Phoenicia, but there were still tons of Phoenicians left, right? There was like what did he conquer? And so modern historians are like, oh, he just conquered this like small little territory. No, he conquered the whole of Phoenicia. But he left the good Phoenicians alive, and he left the bad Phoenicians dead. Just as he left the good Jews alive and the bad Jews dead. But he left the good Jews and the good Phoenicians alive, living in the same area. But he didn't pass on his knowledge in the written word. He did, but you got to decipher it. But he did pass it along orally. But over the generations, they started to become more and more corrupt. Like, this is the pendulum of history. Like, I have questions about God that you wouldn't fucking understand. Because all this sounds exciting, but damn, if it's a pendulum. But I don't think it's a pendulum. I think it's more of a algorithm that changes over time. But the pendulum, that's a simple example that we can all understand. It's just like, Moses left this age of peace and prosperity and fruitfulness for all good men. He wasn't trying to commit genocide and he didn't commit genocide against the Phoenicians. He kept all of the good ones alive. And according to the archaeological data, during the time of Moses, there were, in these Phoenician cities, there were revolutions from within rather than armies attacking from without. And the archaeological evidence proves that. Right? So it was Moses that was the chief revolutionary against the Phoenicians. Like, that's just fucking reality. But it was a revolution of the good Phoenicians against bad Phoenicians. And he left all the good Phoenicians alive, just like he left all the good Jews alive. But he also left them to themselves, because he knew that wisdom is something that should be earned and never read within a book. And eventually both societies declined. Because he's not in charge. He's not going to save the world for all time. I mean, who would want to? Who would want to and deprive God of his fun? Like how could you imagine eternity? How could you imagine eternity unless God wants a relationship with every single individual that's passionate? Like eternity would just be so boring if every single creature that he created was just so dull. And they know all the answers. They do, and life is just so easy because they're just these badass, sarcastic bitches. Like, no. Like, God's a lot like us. He wants to see good stories. And in a good story, there's always a struggle of some kind or another. And so infinite struggle. With a heart that will never change. A heart that will always love and that will always be brave and that will always be innocent. But where every story is unique and special. No, I think I don't know, I guess I just don't know how to read. I'm sorry. And correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, sometimes I don't read right, I mean, I don't really care that much. That's what makes me a good reader, But, no, like the parameters, the geometry, the area that was promised to the Jews has never ever been controlled by them. So, and I'm not trying to like condemn you Muslims out there. I love you guys. I do. Um, but whoever's saying this stuff is just simply wrong. It's just simply wrong. They're just simply wrong. Like the entirety of the land that was promised to the Jews has never been controlled by the Jews. Therefore, the prophecy has never been fulfilled. If you believe in prophecy and all that stuff. But, there's plenty of land out there for all of us. Man, shit. I mean, migrate here to America. As long as you love freedom, then you're welcome here in America. As long as you love freedom. If you don't love freedom, then get the fuck out. But like you Turks, you deserve some land compensated to you. So, like, in order to achieve peace, we should start compensating some land that is not ours, or that we give away for the sake of peace. Because we don't need it, because we got too much, all of us, every single one, all over the world. Maybe not everyone all over the world, but most of us all over the world. Like, we got too much land, not enough people. And so we got some land to spare for the sake of peace. And so, I mean, the solutions are just simple. We just gotta stop being nationalistic, right? Because nationalism isn't about loving your country; it's about hating your neighbor. Nationalism is not about loving your country; it's about stealing from your neighbor. Nationalism is not about loving your country; it's about lying to yourself and your neighbor. Nationalism is propaganda of the war profiteers. It's not about loving your country at all. It's about hating your country, actually. Nationalism is actually about hatred, and it's about everything that is against God. Right? Because God loves all good men and women and children on this planet, no matter what language they speak, or what color they are, or even what religion they profess. If you're a good person, then you will always be God's friend.